Okay, what's going on, everybody? So this is my second channel, Joshua Thompson Rants. If you found me on this channel, I have a main channel. It's just Joshua Thompson, Take Off the Rants, and that's more about the financial system, how it actually works. I have whiteboard videos on my financial playlist. I go through and I show you how it works, how the Fed doesn't print money, how the whole system's put together, and how there's not enough money, essentially, which is why we're having the stock crash, the housing market's going to be crashing, layoffs, etc., etc. So go check that out if you want to see it. On this channel, I just talk about the other things that are happening around the world that I don't talk about on that channel for the most part. I do bring them up sometimes, but I get to go in a little bit more detail here. I'm not going to focus on the Nord Stream pipeline attack. We all know that happened. We know one and two Nord Stream got blown up. There's obviously a huge list of people that could have done it. Now, it had to have been a country because the explosives down at that depths, I mean, I guess it could be like some pirates or something like that, but where's the motivation to do that? Plus, if you're like some, pirate organization, if you did that, you know that a sovereign is going to come after you, so you would never do that. What I'm here to talk about today is what's going to happen now. Okay, well, we know Russia just called an emergency meeting at the UN. So we kind of have to wait and see how that's going to play out. But what could come out of this? Well, I guess nukes, but we're not there yet, okay? We're not there yet. I think that we have the potential of getting there without the Nord Stream happening, but obviously this escalates things a bit. Now, Putin's got an image he's got to keep up. He's got to be seen as that strong bear. Losing in Ukraine is unacceptable, period. Russia's just not. They have to do this. Now, I'm not a supporter of Russia. I'm also not a supporter of the other side either, because I think that there's people that are fighting right now over domination of the world power. And I think you have Russia and China on one side and the United States and the globalists on the other. So I don't support either one of them. However, if I was a citizen of Ukraine, I would be fighting on that side because the same thing applies here. If someone attacks the United States, I'll fight to my death. It's my homeland. But I don't support the sides. So now that we've gotten that out of the way and you know where I stand on that, Russia's not losing this war. It's not going to happen. Without NATO intervention, it's not going to happen. So I think this gets us closer to the nukes. But hopefully cooler heads prevail. There's always the potential that, I've seen a lot of people talking about this. Well, Russia will just use strategic nukes, the low yield nukes. They're not really big explosions. There's not a lot of fallout, but it'll kill a lot of the opposing troops and they'll be able to move in and take over. I'm like, that's not. Man, I really wish people would think this stuff through before they just start talking. You cannot tell the difference between a low yielding nuke and a mega nuke once it's been launched. There's no way to tell the difference. All you know is that a nuke's been launched. That's it. So, you really have to ask the question, what is America and what is the other countries that have nukes, what are they going to do once they notice that a nuke has been launched? Do they retaliate or do they not? Do we have nuclear winter or do we not? Now, this whole notion that Russia's going to go to war with all of NATO and win, it will never happen. This war has shown us they don't have the trained troops to do it. Their equipment's crap, and they don't have enough nukes. It's just not going to happen. They cannot go toe-to-toe with America. That's not going to happen. They need the Chinese, but even with them, it's probably not going to happen. That doesn't mean that crazy leaders that are in control don't just push the button. They might just, like the Joker said, they might just want to watch the world burn. And who knows? We've heard all the accounts. We've seen all the stories. Maybe Putin does have cancer. Maybe he's like, you know what? Before I go, I'm just going to do it. Screw him. But who knows? I think the biggest potential is probably Korea. That's probably where it would be. Russia's trying to make gains in that territory, and then China, which basically controls North Korea, is trying to get to Taiwan, which is almost impossible feat. So as a way to distract the Americans, they tell the North Koreans to start invading South Korea. Well, if they do that, there's millions of South Koreans there the U.S. has to protect, and there's a lot of troops there. They might use a nuke. It's possible. I think that's probably that's probably, I don't want to use the word best, because obviously a nuke situation is not good. I think that's the most probable scenario where nukes go off, but I could be wrong. It could be anywhere. And these tensions, I do believe, are, I think we have a better chance of getting nuked now than what we did during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So I don't know. You be the judge. That's just my thoughts on that topic. Let's move on to the hurricane. Yay, we all about having a good time over here. Oh, nothing but happy news. Hurricane. So it's currently ravaging Florida, Fort Myers area. They're getting, hammered really hard. Here's a couple of, let's get this pulled up. There it goes, finally. So this is what it looks like 6 hours ago. The surge is a lot higher now than what's being shown in this video. You can see a time lapse right here from a street light of the winds and the water and the rain coming in. But my friends, Florida is not the only place you need to be worried about this. I told you guys over here a couple of days ago, it might have been last week, that if you're in South Carolina, North Carolina, or Virginia, you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared year-round, period. But you need to be prepared. You need it because now look, the Icon model, if you follow it, it has it getting into the Atlantic, strengthening again, and then hitting South Carolina, specifically around Charleston, with hurricane force winds. Winds sustained of 70 to 80 miles an hour with gusts up to 110, possibly 120. Okay, and that looks like it's going to be making landfall somewhere around Friday-ish, maybe Saturday. So, keep your eyes open. Stay prepared. Chili August. Now, I want you to understand this, guys. This should not be happening in the southern hemisphere, but since that volcano went off last year, or no, that was in January, I think. Hunga-Tunga in the South Pacific. It threw up a lot of stratospheric dust that's blocking out sunlight, and it's making the southern hemisphere colder. I do believe it's going to make the northern hemisphere colder too. Greece logs coldest September ever. Lows also fall in Crete. This is a problem. I talk about this on my other channel because the colder it gets there, the more gas they need. The more gas they need, and they can't get it, prices go up higher. It leads to even record higher inflation in those countries. I just talked about this on my other channel. It's going to get worse. We're not even anywhere near the bottom of this yet. Record cold to blast Australia, even though they're trying to dismiss it. Okay, moving along. There is really no space weather to talk about. Spiral, yeah, it got updated, so we did have a little CME, but it's barely going to hit us. Not going to cause much. Nothing really to report here. KP index did spike, but no big deal. So the big one's not coming yet. And earthquakes, I just saw this. I just checked this, and that wasn't up the last time I checked this. 5.5 in the East Pacific rise, excuse me. I need to get more data on that. That could lead to a tsunami, but probably not. Probably nothing to worry about. You would expect it to be bigger, but that's crazy. It seems like earthquake activity for some reason on this ridge has been picking up. So we need to be aware of this. I don't see anything right now that's worrisome, and obviously we still have volcanic activity in Iceland, but potentially we might have a problem here. So just keep your eyes in this area. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm gonna bounce out. Hopefully I brought something to you today that is worth your time. Okay, love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video.